I'm also going to share the screen so that our screen now is going to go over to Miss Pekoske, who's in a different room. So let's just see. Hopefully this works, Mr. Christensen. You never know with technology, but hopefully it works. Oh, I can actually make you the presenter, Mr. Christensen, but I won't.
I'd be happy to share what's on my screen, but you guys would be incredibly bored.
Oh dear.
All right, Lana, you are the presenter.
Okay, I've been made the presenter. Show my screen. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's on. And do you see what the Womogo page?
I do.
I do. Yep.
Yes? Okay, great. All right, so I am Lana Pekoske, counselor. I have the second half of the alphabet, so I don't have, I don't have anyone on your caseload. But today's webinar is about Naviance and how we use it, who uses it, and really the tools that are part of it and what we use it for. So students and parents all have access to a Naviance account, which they log in with the username and password, so it's all protected within a portfolio that is student specific. Students can reach it by going to the Womogo website, clicking on the guidance department website, and then they scroll down, and my mouse is a little small. How do I move this? There we go. So we scroll down, and I do want to bring your attention to the calendar of events that's on the guidance page. That's always a great place to check out for deadlines for events like SATs, ACTs, when we're hosting college fairs, really important events that we often offer to all the students. But as you go further down, you can see the program of studies with all the courses that are available. And then we do have an overview of our guidance program, which you can find by clicking here, and that's all of the different aspects of the guidance curriculum, which are the academic, the career, and the personal social. But today we're going to focus more on the career and post-high school planning, which is the Naviance link. So students would click on the word Naviance and
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes,
Mr.
please.
Christensen, what's your knowledge of Naviance?
Well, I've got a daughter who just finished her freshman year of college, and she went to Mills, and they use Naviance, but we didn't have any access to it, or we didn't really have any. We didn't understand how to use it, so even if we did have access, and they had just started using it, so I'm not sure how much help it would have been, anyways. But when we had a middle daughter, Jade, had her meeting with Mrs. Spielman earlier this year. She talked about it a little, and she gave us the parent password to it. So I'm somewhat familiar with what it does, but I'm sure we don't know the full features that, advantages that it provides.
Awesome. All right. I didn't mean to interrupt, Lana. I was just trying to get it a little.
No, it's always good to know my audience. Thank you. So when the student clicks on Naviance, the word, they get to this page, which every student has an email address, and then they have a specific password. I'm going to log into the student I've created for the sake of this presentation and log in. Okay, so every student is brought to a home page. This is the same for the parents as well. The parent access is exactly the same as the student access, so you can check out all the different portals of the program. So with the home page, you're looking at what's new. Anything that has been recently done in the account would show up under what's new. In this case, it was the learning style inventory that has just been completed. So that will get added to the student's portfolio. On the left-hand side are links that we have connected here based on what the students are doing in Naviance that would make it more convenient for them to click over. So we're looking at the College Board and the ACT organization that are standardized tests for college. We have CT and Mass Mentor, which are college search engines based on the specific states of Connecticut and Massachusetts. We have the VHS Collaborative, which is our virtual high school program that we're linked in, where students can take online classes. The FAFSA, which is the Federal Forum for Financial Aid for College. And we recently found the College Majors 101 website to be very interesting to students who kind of have an idea of what they want to major in, but maybe don't know what the program is called, or they have an interest in a specific area, but don't know that that can be developed into a college major. That has been very helpful for our students in mapping that out for them. On the right-hand side, you can see that messages are received in this account. So while it's not an email account, we do send messages through Naviance to parents and students about events that are happening. In the fall, we sent out a message about the PSAT. You know, here's registration for the PSAT. Here's what it's about. Please participate. And anything that
Lonnie, are you there?
the tabs across the top. You can see courses, colleges, careers, About Me, and the My Planner function. I'm going to start with About Me because it is all about the student. So when you look at this page, it is broken down into 3 different areas: the success plan, interesting things about me, and official things. Official things are basically the upkeep of the account: demographics, access, your passcodes, as well as test scores that you've taken. So in this case, if we clicked on test scores, we can see that the student hasn't taken the PSAT, but you can see SAT scores, and anything that's reported back to Amogo from the College Board, we put in Naviance for the access, easy access for students and parents. They cannot be sent to the College Board or to the colleges through Naviance, but it's more portfolio based, where the student can check out their GPA, their rank, their SAT scores all in one spot. So that's what that part is. And you can always go backwards just by clicking on the tab again.
How quickly are the SAT scores updated?
Okay. Well, whenever they are received by the school. So if a student took them in May, the May test scores would be ready to the student probably in about 3 weeks. It takes 4 to 5 weeks for the scores to actually get to the counselors. So the students who registered online can see their scores online, but we don't record the scores until we have the official document.
Okay.
Correct. They do send us a CD that we can download into Naviance. Traditionally, we are a small enough school that in the past we have hand entered them, yes. So that's a really great place for the students to sort of take stock of what they have: their GPA, their rank, their test scores. The interesting things about me is all of the different types of assessments, whether they're career, they're college focused, personality type, learning style, and they even create their resume through here. So far this year, we've worked with the 9th grade students on the learning style inventory, and they've completed something called the Career Interest Profiler, which you're going to go through today. 10th graders did something called I Start Strong, which was a further inventory about the career clusters and identifying careers that would work with their personality and their interests. And then moving into junior year, we start doing the transition from career interests into college and post-high school education planning. So mostly the seniors and the juniors are working with the colleges aspect of Naviance. Just for the sake of seeing one of the assessments, let's click on learning style. Like I said, every student in the 9th grade sat down with this inventory, and we're faced with, I think, over 100 questions, asking them things like this: I think better when I eat while I study. They ask them about the temperature conditions. Do you study better when you're warm? Do you study better on a couch or sitting at a desk? We're really trying to get to the point where we understand who they are as students and how they learn best. So if we were to answer, I think better when I disagree, it would just keep going. But then you can always finish later. At the end of this inventory, there's a report that is generated, and I don't have it here because this person hasn't finished it yet, but it will tell you that you study better in a warmer climate. It gives information for the student, maybe where some of their weaker habits are that they can work on in order to improve test scores or improve their performance in a particular class. It'll also tell them what time of day they study better, just in case they don't know that they would figure out that maybe first period English isn't the best place for them. and we can work around certain things and have the teachers have more input as to how the student learns. Other things that they take, personality type indicator, graders, where they answer questions. Are they more like student A or student B? So different scenarios they go through and they pick one over the other to give themselves a better indication of who they are more like. And after that, the results come together with regards to Holland's codes of whether someone is more realistic, if they're going to be more involved in social careers, entrepreneurial, conservative careers, gives them a field to focus their career interests on. In this case, the results came forward with a student could have an interest in the arts or business management. And then you can see that the student is able to rank between very interested all the way down to not interested at all. And it would continue to tailor the results specifically to what the student entered as their questions, which we are in class doing this with the students so that we don't see them just clicking, yes, I like this, no, that's more like me. We really want to get to the heart of the matter. And so we have found students who are looking at their screens thinking, wow, how did they know that about me? The results have been very accurate and very helpful to the students, especially the students who particularly don't know what direction they're headed in. And so it gives them more information in order to do further searches. Other things in here, probably the best one-stop shop on this page is the portfolio link. The portfolio has a running tally of everything within Naviance that the student has completed. So you can see the student information, parent, contact information, but then you can see the different inventories I was talking about and where the student stands on them. So the personality type, almost complete. Learning style is, about a quarter complete. They haven't done anything with the resume yet. These are all identified portions of Naviance that the students go through as part of the curriculum of guidance. It's just dependent on which year they're in as to how much they've gotten done. And you can see if you go down to goal planning that each student is assigned different tasks. So the career interest profiler is in progress.
Hey, Lana, can I pop on for 1 second?
Course planning. Yep.
I just
Sure.
wanted to share, Mr. Christensen. It's amazing how much is out there, isn't there?
No, certainly there is. Yeah.
I mean, it can be almost overwhelming when you start looking at this.
One of the reasons why I wanted to go to this webinar is, yeah, it is overwhelming.
Well, beautiful. Make sure, hopefully you're enjoying it. I think Lana's doing a great job. But the one thing I'd ask is maybe share with some of your friends that we have these and they're beneficial. At least I hope you find it beneficial.
Oh, I am. Yes.
Good. All right, I'm gonna mute myself again, so I'll let you guys go. Thanks,
Thank you.
Lana.
No problem. Are there specific areas that you're more interested in learning about?
Well, I did have one question. So I've got a 9th grader and I have an 11th grader.
Okay.
Is it the same login for both, or do they have separate? Do the parents have separate logins for each child?
That's a very good question. In the past, yes, you would have to have had a separate login per student, but as long as we link the accounts, it is one login for you as the parent to get to both of your children.
Okay, all right. So it's kind of like the parent portal type of.
Correct. Each of your students would have their separate logins.
Kind of accounts. Okay.
So
I guess
so that's. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the stage we're at right now is the college with my junior is trying to find colleges to go visit and planning that out for the summer, so we can obviously do applications in the fall. So what kind of tools are in the system for college planning, I guess would be the.
That's a great question. Let's skip over to the colleges tab. And we have gone into the junior English classes, I believe 3 or 4 times. And we've talked to them about the standardized tests, the SAT, the ACT. We've talked to them about visiting colleges and how colleges would specifically get onto your list, which sounds like where you're at right now. So I'm going to go ahead to this college research portion. And there are a lot of different ways to search colleges. Probably the easiest or the most user-friendly is the college search link. It asks you different questions as to how to start narrowing down the 4,700 colleges that are in the database. And they're pretty simple at the beginning. Are you looking for a bachelor's degree versus an associate's degree? Does it matter to you whether it's public or private, co-ed or single sex? Do you prefer to be in a big city or a smaller town? Those tend to be the questions that the students can readily say, well, this is what I want it to look like. And once you give, say, a 4-year, it doesn't matter public or private, has to be co-ed, and then if you have a religious affiliation, you can put it there. And then you would say, click next. That took it down to 2,100 schools, just that basic criteria. So then the student can further go on and say, well, I only want to be in New England. And then scroll to the bottom and say next. Now you're done to 160 colleges, which still is a lot to go through, but by further answering the questions that are on here about the size of the student body, male, female, we picked. So maybe, smaller to mid-size. Show the matches. There's 128 schools that pop up on the list, and then you can look through them, click on the links, visit their websites. Does your student know what she wants to study?
Yeah, she's thinking more of an environmental science or a forestry.
Okay, well, one of the aspects you can narrow down the search is by major. So if she wanted to stay in New England and wanted to study, let's see.
Or earth science.
What was it?
Earth sciences.
Earth sciences. So sometimes it's tricky to find the program specifically, so let's try earth science. Earth science teacher, let's go with this, and then you can also select, where's control? That one, oops. Okay, once we've loaded those in, you can start and say add selected and show matches. Oh good, now we're down to 15. And from there you can click on the specific school. So maybe Castleton, maybe she really wants to be at Castleton. All the college information will show up on this one page. You can individually request information, or if she's at the point where she wants to apply, she can click right there. For the rest of the information, this is pretty cool. There is the link to the direct school website, the school statistics, the graph of students who have been accepted, so the typical student profile, and then you can add it to your college list, all from this one page. In this particular case, my student, Amber Sample, has a GPA of 3.87. This is compared to the typical student who applies and is accepted to Castleton, which has a 4.08. This is all Wamogo data, so we've had this account since 2004. So it's the culmination of all the average of students from 2004, their GPA.
Okay, so this is specific to Wamogo students, not necessarily the published statistics that the college gives.
Correct. You can find that information on their website. This Naviance portal that you're looking at is just Wamogo students. Yep.
That's good. Okay.
So you can see, how our students fare, versus what their typical student is, and that really helps our students see whether it's a strong choice for them, whether it's a likely college, or if it might just be a reach. So you can see that, oh gosh, the application history isn't here. For some reason it's been blocked. I'd have to undo that, or maybe they've done it on their end. I'd have to check. But all the different school information, how big the school is, where it's, what its surroundings are
What
all
would
listed.
application history be?
Application history, that would be the who applied, who was admitted, how many enrolled.
Okay.
And as we turn more of this open to parents and students, because way back in 2004, it was strictly a counselor tool that we used to sort of house all of our data of what we were doing with students. And then it's only been within the last, I would say 2 to 3, almost 4 years that we've opened it up to the students in a limited capacity. But all it requires is for us to go in and unlock certain things, and then all this data will be alive. And I think that is very helpful. As you said, it's good for students to know where they stand. All this other things, admissions, how to contact the admissions office in addition to what is required for admission at that program. Are they looking for ACTs? Well, only if the SAT isn't available. So they do require the student to take a test. They have to take SAT subject tests for this program at Castleton. In specifically, what are the average test scores that a typical student would have who is accepted? And this is really helpful for students whether they should retake the SAT, because we suggest they take it in the spring of their junior year and then again in the fall of their senior year, but it would give them an idea of which part of the test they really need to put their energy and their focus on. It also tells you how much it costs to apply, and then there's the financial aid link right here as far as how much the school's overall tuition is, room and board, and that is given for the 2012-2013 school year. So we find it really informative, and that the students can have all the information to make the educated decisions whether they want to visit, want to apply, and then when they're comparing schools after they've received their admissions decisions.
You know, is there a way, if you like a particular school, is there a way to save it to a list?
Absolutely, and I apologize for continuing to scroll up and down. We don't have this part of the portal. We have a different access point. But yes, say Castleton was a school that she really wanted to apply to. It is right in this link right here, add to list. And that would move that list to colleges I'm thinking about. And it shows up right there, Castleton. The thing where you're at right now as a junior parent, you would probably have a list of colleges that she was thinking about. And then when she moved into senior year, if 2 of those 3, you want to update your interest, you can move them to the colleges I'm applying to list. So you don't have to re-enter them or something to that effect. You can always sort of say, oh, that's, you know, maybe Marist isn't really on my list anymore. I can just get rid of it. But the colleges I'm thinking about, we're strongly encouraging students to have, you know, about between 5 to 10 programs that they're really considering, and then hopefully, as you mentioned, visiting a bunch of them to see about the good fit and things like that. So that was the college search, which went through a bunch of different criteria in order to narrow down the search. There are other things like Supermatch. Supermatch is a different type of search. It's more graphically stimulating, but it still has the same questions. Finding your best fit, these are the different criteria by which you're going to reduce the number of schools on your list. So location, you can still pick Northeast, but in this case, it shows you all the colleges instantly that meet that one different criteria. And then you continue to add more criteria, and visually colleges will disappear. So if a student types in the one thing that's most important and then the top school pops up, you can click on the college. You can find out, oh, well, they're on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, well, I can look for them there. How much it costs, the breakdown. Well, it's a really great fit because it's in the Northeast, and it will continue to give you a rating as 100%, 75% as to how much this school meets your specific criteria. And then again, you can save this search and add those schools to your specific college list. One search isn't better than another. It's just a matter of what's going to work best for your particular student.
Now, can you save directly from there into the colleges you're considering or thinking about list?
Yes, yes. All of the different search engines allow you to save your colleges. Absolutely. One other thing I want to draw your attention to is the scholarship section. Any scholarships that come through Wamogo's office are entered here. So if we go to the scholarship list, there's a number of different scholarships that come through, And as they get added in, they're given a deadline if we are aware of how much the award is for, and the different criteria that a student would need to meet in order to qualify for the scholarship. So this one has a service requirement. So if the student isn't strong in service, they're most likely not going to be eligible for that award. But it will tell you whether it's merit-based. Do they need a specific GPA for that? Or is it a need-based, in which fact you'd probably have to supply some of your FAFSA information. But by clicking on a link, you would be directed to all the specific information about a scholarship, and then you would also be directed to where the application was held, whether it was at the website or at the link, or if it was still a paper copy and it was available in the guidance office. So this has been great. It's a great tool. When a new scholarship comes in, we can alert the clientele that is the target audience. So if it's to any senior who is looking to study, you know, environmental science, we can click through and say, oh, well, we know you've expressed an interest. Here's a scholarship for you. Or you can just go in and start looking on a regular basis as to what scholarships are available. Was there anything else in this page that you were specifically interested in?
No, this was great.
No? Okay. Trying to think. Colleges I'm applying to, because that's going to be your next step, I'll go ahead and look at that. So once the student has identified the programs they're going to be interested in, the colleges I'm applying to page is really important. It's the biggest part of the communication between student and counselor. Oh, excuse me. The colleges are listed, the type of admission. So if a student is going to be applying early action or regular decision, you can indicate that, and it goes through which deadline the student needs to adhere to. This submission with the computer screens is indicating that all of these colleges will accept an online application. The little red CA is for the Common application. Are you familiar with the Common app?
Yes.
Okay, so any school that accepts it will have this icon indicated. So we know that the student, yes, is using it, no, they're not. And then you can request transcripts through here. You will find out what the updates of our status of submitting the work is. All of that is here, which is wonderful. In addition to the teacher recommendations, a student can say, you know, I really want to pick, you know, in this case, Mrs. Bennett to write me a letter of recommendation. They would approach the teacher first and follow it up with a note saying, thank you for meeting with me, blah, 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 and here, find my resume on Naviance. And then can give her whatever information she needs in order to complete the letter of recommendation in a timely fashion. And always just update, save that request. This actual request will send her an email. And so it's a good follow-up to any personal contact in case, you know, by the time Mrs. Bennett got back to her office, the request was lost. So we keep all of the requests, and all of the letters of recommendations are uploaded into Naviance. So if a student indicates that they're going to be applying to, say, Bryant University, we can click on the Bryant link and select different documents that that student requires for that application, make them all active, and send them to the college electronically. And that really has changed over the past 5 years. We went from making photocopies of the 10 pages of Common App and sending it out to 5 different schools per student to sending out 5 or 6 Common App schools by simply clicking on the name of the college and hitting submit. So it's made the world of college admissions a lot different, but more feasible for us to handle whatever volume of applications come through our office. So, but while this is great communication, we always prefer students to come in and say, I'm applying to this place. Can I check and make sure that all my stuff is going out? And we're open for all of those kind of communications. And that comes from parents too, you know. When you're at home on a Saturday night and they're applying to 4 different schools, it's really great to give us the contact on Monday morning and let us know what happened. The computer does update, but potentially not as quick or as deadline sensitive as a family might need. So there's lots of different things But like I said, we don't send the test scores. I do see this test scores over here. So we don't send the test scores from the College Board. Most colleges will recommend that you send them from the College Board. So that's definitely something to consider when making sure you are meeting deadlines. For students who don't truly know exactly what they're interested in, the careers portal is really good. Students can identify favorite careers and say, well, in this case, meeting convention and event planners. Knowledge and skills, there is an education section. Here it is, related college majors. Okay, so in this particular career that they've expressed interest in, they can find the colleges that will support that interest. And from there, they can make a connection between who they are, what they think they want to be after high school, and how they can get there. So it will talk about different levels of education and which colleges or universities have programs that will allow them to reach their goal. Other things in here, these are, let's see, we do have the course planner, and that just in general is a plan for students to enter what courses they're taking and make sure that their courses are challenging enough and in the particular areas that their expressed career interest that they match up. If a student wants to be something in the science field, we want to make sure that they're taking rigorous math and science courses in order to be a competitive candidate to be admitted to the school of their choice. There is a portion of our students who don't go on to college, and so the career portal is very important for them as well as they try to figure out different careers that will fit them personally and provide them with their income to be self-sufficient. One other thing I want to draw your attention to is this Road Trip Nation interview archive. It's a recent addition to Naviance, and there are, as it says, 3,500 videos on different career paths. And if I click on the Explore More, we've just started introducing this to the students. All of these, what look like Post-it notes, are different people's stories, how they got to the career that they're currently in, who helped them, who motivated them, how they got there, what they studied. And we found that it really helps the students connect to different career fields. Because we are in a smaller part of the state, we do find that students aren't as exposed to different opportunities that are out there. I mean, this one, the surfboard, Al Merrick, students were thinking like, wow, he doesn't just surf all day. He has a degree. He learns how to do different machinery. He knows how to engineer it. Oh, well, I guess you need that degree to become that career. So students who were thinking that they could get away with less found out that they needed more. And to hear from the person themselves without hearing it from mom, dad, or a school official made it more real for them. And so they've really started taking a look into these videos, and we hope that as they continue to use it, they will continue to add more videos. Let's see, other things. Let's go back to the home page for a minute. Students can organize also with the My Planner page. They can set goals for themselves, to-do lists, and the tasks assigned to me are everything that we've assigned to them through the Student Success Plan. So in this case, it was the career cluster, the career interest, and editing the course plan. And we do review these periodically throughout the year to make sure students are working according to their grade level. Anything else that you're particular? Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mr. Christensen, is there? I was going to steal the question from Lana. Is there anything that you're interested in learning more about?
No, I think this was a pretty good overview.
Good. Hopefully, again, I don't want to keep it longer than you have to. And Lana, I'm sure if there's more you want to go over, that's great. But hopefully, again, you'll share with your friends. I'll try and get this link on the website so people can take a look at it. But we're always trying to expand more offerings. Now, let me ask them, if we was to ask you, what would make you come back to a webinar? What would it be? A topic?
Oh, a topic.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, the students use a lot of tools, and you may have already covered this in one of your other webinars, but they use a lot of different online tools. I know you went through Google Apps, but there have been a variety of other ones, such as there's an online system that the teachers use for their notes. There's another presentation type of system. And typically, the only time I get involved is when their computer doesn't work.
Sure.
But if maybe reviews of what the capabilities of those systems are,
Okay.
and what they are,
Okay.
might be helpful.
One thing I've talked about too is would parents be interested in coming to like more of just an open office hours? Like if I had guidance office hours, would you think parents would kind of call into that? Like you know how I have parent coffees during the day. Well, maybe people can't come, but maybe they would come to a you know Mr. Egan open hour or something like that. Would they do something like that? You think?
That's kind of tough to say.
Yeah.
One of the problems with this particular district is that you're so geographically spread out.
Yes.
Scheduling, what those things is schedule, and almost everything is just scheduling,
Yeah.
and every week is different.
Sure.
So it's hard to say whether or not that, while that would certainly be useful, I'm not sure how popular it would be.
Yep.
It may depend from week.
True. And I think ultimately that's it. We're just trying to find the right draw that draws the people. We know this is a good idea. At least we think it is. Forgive me if it's not. But you know, we certainly are trying to draw more people out.
Now, where would the link be to this
I haven't
webinar?
posted them yet, but it'll probably be on the website. I'm not sure if it'll be under our EdTech website or where we'll put it, but we're going to find a spot. We have about 3 or 4 of them now that we recorded. We did a couple more that we didn't record, but we have
Mm-hmm.
about 3 or 4 that we've recorded. So we'll title them and we'll put them somewhere on our website. I'm not sure where yet. So maybe
Okay.
I'll advertise that. Do you get the e-blast?
Yes.
Once I post them, I'll advertise that in the e-blast too.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, Lana, I interrupted. Do you have more that you want to share, or are you finished?
No, I think I gave the overview of all the different options on here, and just, in closing, that it is grade specific as to what we encourage the students to access, but our hope is that by the end of senior year, they've gone through all of it and really done some self-exploration to know who they are, what they're good at, and what they're interested in, and made the connection between their school education and life after high school. So just, stay tuned for communication from us with regards to events that are happening. And, we encourage you to use the Family Connection in Naviance. So
Great. Thank
that's
you.
it for me.
Very good,
You're
Mr.
very welcome.
I hope you enjoyed today, and we'll let you go. But I just wanted to thank you for helping us trying to expand our communication a little bit.
Great.
All right, take care.
You too. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Lana. You were great.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Of course, I've lost my connection.
I'm trying to end you out too.
I don't know how to close it.
I'm ending.